I was going to make the next episode of this Let's Make a Game Bullet Hell game dev series another level design video slash live stream, but then I decided that my list of backlogged items was just getting too long and I have to do something about it if I didn't want them to drive me insane. So today we're going to be working down some items on the backlog. Just like last week, I will be doing another level design live stream either on tomorrow or Friday, depending on when I have more time to do that. But today I'm going to spend probably a half hour or so just fixing bugs, dealing with like programming oversights that I didn't deal with earlier, making the game feel a little better, and whatever else was on the backlog. I did leave 2 items in the backlog list instead of sending them to the like the Sprint 3 board. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to get through all of these within the span of today, but I will try to get through at least some of the easier ones. So some of them should only take a minute. Let me start off with game UI stats, faux bullets on the screen, because that should be just probably a minute or so to get in the game. If I were to go to the room initialization room, and if I were to look at the gameplay UI, we should have over in the the sidebar over here a list of just buttons and text labels and that sort of thing. And if I were to just look at how, because I want the default room size to be how the items in the UI are laid out in the actual game, but I think I can probably, let's see, either combine something. I could get rid of the score multiplier text label, because I think that could be something that gets left unsaid by the game, and either there's I don't know, a kill count in the corner or something like that, or a kill streak or whatever, or just the player could generally assume that when they take out a lot of foes in a short amount of time, the score multiplier goes up. So I think that'll be the first to go on the cutting room floor. If I can actually select any of these, that would be great. So if I can convert this to just the number of bullets on screen, I think that will be good. Why are we locked? Oh, it's because I locked it. Okay, GameMaker's not broken. I just locked it. So this can be changed to inst game bullet counter. And this itself is not a super useful piece of information, but I feel like it's more of interest just as a piece of sheer curiosity than the score multiplier. Maybe there could be a score bonus at the end of every level that's based on the maximum number of bullets on screen or something like that. Let's see. If I go to creation code, if I go to variables first, by the way. Okay, so the text is going to be just done with this the string formatter, and to actually do this, is it instance number of the bullet object, and we can insert that into the text label over here. And if we wanted to only count enemy bullets, bullets have a friendly property, don't they? Yeah, we do have friendly. So if we can say with each instance of bullet, if not self.friendly, bullet count minus, because variables are scoped, local variables are scoped to the script, and even though we're going into the scope of each instance of bullet here, the bullet count variable will still be visible. And that will one, cause a little message to pop out in the console that says text not found, bullet count or whatever. Okay, so it is still counting my bullets. Oh wait, I want to do it the other way around. If they are player bullets, we will subtract from the bullet count, and that will leave only the enemy bullets. All right, let me clear out these guys first, and let's wait for some aphids to shoot at us, and that is indeed counting up the number of bullets on screen. All right, that's cool, but not the players, only the enemies. All right, so let me commit some changes. Where is this repository? I did go and delete a bunch of the repositories that I wasn't using. Here we go. like from my computer, because they were just cluttering up GitHub Desktop recently, but anyway. And I suppose that would lead us to another backlog item, which is that for like each level, we can keep track of the maximum number of bullets on screen at once. In much the same way that we're keeping track of the highest score multiplier. That should be... I might not do that now just out of pure laziness, but regardless, we can move the... where was it? Game UI full bullets on screen over here. And I guess... Before I move onwards, adding all of the backlog cards to the Sprint 3 board did like increase the total number of like work points that is in this board, and it did slightly decrease my progress bar, which is disappointing. But we will hopefully make some headway towards 100% today, like towards cleaning up these backlog items today. Next one, player hitbox should be very small. I'm going to do this now. Right now, the player's hitbox is where is entity player? The player's collision mask is the same as the sprite, which is just like this, you know, rectangle. I think I will create a separate collision mask, and I could edit the collision mask on this sprite, but I do want to have a separate collision mask sprite for the player. One, so that I can actually draw that sprite on the UI, and like that's another idea I'm probably gonna steal from Koopa Matt's Bullet Heaven, is draw the hitbox for the player on the screen so that the player can actually, you know, see where they stand. But also because I'm probably gonna delete the program art later, I want it to be separate. So that's gonna be SPR collision player. And I can make this a, I think I will make it like 1 pixel or whatever dramatic thing I said earlier, but I'll make it like a circle with a radius of 4, let's say. And to accomplish this, that's our circle with a radius 4. Our origin can be set to the middle center. And our collision mask can be a ellipse. Don't let the text in the drop down here scare you. It's not that slow, particularly because we're only going to have one of them. And we can set entity player's collision mask to that. And now, let's see, draw end. Okay, so this is where like status effects like the being on fire are drawn, and I will also draw inherit from this event. Game Maker, why do you keep inserting more and more empty lines every time I open an event every beta update? We can draw sprite. The sprite can be self.mask index. The subimage can be 0, x, self.x, self.y, and that should draw a little circle or whatever around the player. And now, if I were to put myself in a situation where I'm going to be in the vicinity of bullets, I should be able to get through them a lot more easily. Alright, let me let these guys shoot at me real quick, and I should be having a lot easier time dodging and getting through the bullet storm and all that. Alright. Can I actually have a denser set of bullets? Hang on, let me quit to title and enter, like, Hornet's Nest, because those guys do shoot at you a little bit harder. Alright. Yeah, I don't seem to be taking damage when they get, like, mildly close to me, which is good. Okay. I think I will make it a little bigger, though. Let me make it a circle with a radius of 8 instead of a circle with a radius of 4. Alright. I might, later on, make the sprite itself a little bit prettier. Maybe I'll make the center, like, partially transparent or something like that, but that'll do it for now. Okay. So, let me make some commits. Player collision mask is a bit smaller. Let me... Where were we? Let me drag this over here. That took, what, 5 minutes, maybe a little less. Player special can only be used when the charge level is at 100%, but maybe upgraded to 200%. I have talked about upgrades, and that's maybe some code that I shouldn't worry about until I get around to doing upgrades, but shot sub cooldown. That's the variable that controls it. Why did I implement it as a countdown instead of a counter that goes, like, up? That was a bit of a weird choice. There was probably a reason for it, and it was probably kind of dumb. But anyway, if we go to shoot sub, that's going to be... Alright. So as to get away with changing as little code as possible, I think, let's see, entities... Should I make a separate category for, like, upgrades and stuff? Let's create a group. For this, I'm going to just create a couple scripts, and this is going to be, like, get upgrade sub... Do I call them sub-weapons, or, like, alt-weapons as an alternate, or alt-weapons as an ultimate in the code? I think I call them sub-weapons. Anyway, I'm just going to write a little function called this, and for now, it's just going to return 0. When I get around to doing upgrades, I will have these functions access some, like, upgrade database, which is probably going to be another, like, fake singleton system somewhere. Anyway, this can be... Where were we? Instead of saying the max of... this value minus the in-game delta time at 0. This can be the max of get upgrade subweapon. Let's call it value. Because it's technically not a maximum. And this is just a little bit of refactoring. Oh, Feather, shut up. This is just a little bit of refactoring. This shouldn't change the way the game is played. Although if I would like later on to implement some upgrade for that, it should be trivially easy right now. All right. And the sub-weapon still works. If I were to change this to return negative 0.5 or so, we should be able to charge to 150%. And it only goes to 112%. Why is that? All right. Oh, it's not just a straight, like, percentage. It's a number of seconds. So it should be this times, like... It should be that times the sub-attack cooldown. Because it's not just a straight, like, number of seconds countdown or anything like that. Alright, now it should go up to 150%. Wonderful. When I shoot, it still does get reset to 0 instead of being, like decreasing by 100%. So if I were to go into, shoot sub, let me say plus equals that instead. And then when we fire at 150%, haha, fire, because it's fire. When we fire at 150%, it should jump down to 50%. Excellent. All right. So that was a little bit more work than I expected it to be. I'm going to set this back to 0 for now. But it was done in, again, just a few minutes. Player sub attack can be charged above 100% with upgrades. Okay. Let's see. This one is going to be dropped into the done pile. I see I marked that down as 10 points of work instead of 5. Which, I guess so. Centipede segment should be destroyed as the head's health is depleted. Alright, I feel like that shouldn't be difficult. Let's see. Because the segments... Can I go into the test room? Can I just create a test room with the segments? If I make this like level 9... just so that I can test this out. Foes, centipede, head. And I'll just like test with the 1 for now. Level 9 is my test scene. Here we go. Hello, ugly. And you're gonna do that. That's really annoying, isn't it? Alright, now I gotta wait for you to come around again. Which is also really annoying, but for different reasons. I did like how it turned towards me when it entered stage left, though. Alright. Were you not taking damage? Alright, you were taking damage. I just couldn't tell for some reason. So, when you take damage, you have an on damage method, don't you? No, you don't. What about when the segments take damage? Okay, so the segments don't track their health, like, on their own. They will, like, redirect damage to the head. Okay, that's cool. So, when the heads take damage, we should be able to remove, like, DQ segments from the end of the doubly linked list. And, just to make sure, I guess I should probably, like... And Game Maker is kind of annoying in that it doesn't really let you, like, inherit methods or anything like that. Inherited on damage is going to be the old on damage method, and then... What is it? It takes a bullet argument? It does. And we can call the inherited on damage method, and this should just this shouldn't make anything different. This should just call the same on damage code, just in an indirect way. And then when we take damage, I is 0, I is less than self.health, I plus plus. We can traverse the segments. I'm gonna want this to be I equals 1, aren't I? Because like index 0 is the head. Traverse the linked list segment equals segment.next. And then this is going to give us, this loop is going to give us the last segment that the centipede should keep. And then we can say while segment.next is not equal to undefined, or simply while segment.next has a truthy value. Instance destroy segment.next. Var next equals segment.next. Segment.next equals undefined. Segment equals next. Alright, linked list code is something else, isn't it? And if this doesn't work, it's gonna make me look very silly, because that is some extremely ugly code that should work as far as I can tell. Alright, now we are, we were destroying segments of the centipede. And I gotta wait for it to loop around again. It's gonna be like coming out this way. Alright. And that did indeed work, and it did indeed not crash the game or anything ugly like that. So, oh boy, that was, shall we say, not the prettiest code I've ever written. Anyway, centipede segments disappear as the head loses health. If I was really evil, I would make them like speed up by a small percent every time you removed a segment, but that would be just utter nightmare fuel, and I'm not that evil. Also, there may be a better way to traverse a linked list. Maybe I could go backwards or something. Actually, I know I could go backwards, iterate backwards over the linked list, because it is a doubly linked list. It's not. I thought it was. Well, I could make it a doubly linked list, and I could iterate over it backwards until we are like have remaining the number of segments as the centipede's health, but again, that only took about 5 minutes to implement, and I am, I think, happy with that. Let's get out of room 9. And I can close all these code windows that I'm done with. All right. You can be kicked over to the complete column. Chasing enemies may or may not constrain the vertical position on screen because them going behind you is very annoying, as we saw with the centipedes. The problem with that is that might feel a little bit like artificial if chasing enemies just chase you and stop and they just let you sit at the bottom of the screen and hang out there and don't have to deal with them chasing you. So I might actually not do that.
Hey.
I think I'm going to send that one back to the backlog. Let's see, send you to the backlog, and I'll think about that for a little bit longer before I do that. Give larger enemies like scorpions larger hitboxes. That is just a... that should be fairly easy. Let me duplicate SPR collision player, and let's call this like SPR collision bug large. And I think the boss enemies, as I implemented them, I just let their larger sprites, their larger program art sprites be their hitboxes. What are you? You're 256 by 256. I want to say everything else is 64 by 64. Again, I will give everything a collision box that's a circle like this. Alright, so this is a boss cockroach. You can get a bug boss collision mask. Again, instead of using just the sprite sizes for the programmer art, I would like to set their own collision masks, because in the event that I do decide to delete the programmer art eventually, although I might not, because they are useful when it comes to showing the enemies in the Game Maker room editor. So that might be an argument in favor of keeping the program art around. It doesn't contribute a lot to like the game's file size or anything like that. The template boss, centipede heads. Scorpions are the big ones, right? Scorpions and maybe grasshoppers. Anyway, let me be on my way. Alright, that's all of those. Let me just run the game on a couple different levels to make sure that everything is as it should be. I guess I'll use level 9 as my test level again. This is the cannon fodder level. Alright, you're all taking damage, as I would hope that you are. Let me bring in the aphids too, as well. Alright, the aphids are taking damage correctly. Quit to title, bagworms. I don't think you guys should have any problem with the collision box sizes. There's no, like... let me gauge the size of the hornets. Is it awkward when the bullets pass through your wings? I personally don't think so. I feel like I wouldn't expect them to hit the wings. If anyone watching this feels like it's weird that bullets pass through the hornet wings, let me know. And I will give them the larger collision box size. Midges. Yeah, these guys are little anyway. I guess these guys also have wings, which you might not expect the bullets to be able to hit, but it would be probably extremely annoying if you had to hit the middles. A little bit too much like trying to swat them in real life, not really living at the insect stomping power fantasy. If I were to do that, I don't think. The scorpions were the big ones. I think those are the only ones that got a big model. Oh, hello. All right. And also grasshoppers. We'll see if those feel like they should have the larger collision box as well. All right, the grasshoppers aren't that small, and they're also pretty narrow. The scorpions take up like some amount of horizontal space, so it does make sense for them to have the bigger ones. Okay. Collision box, collision circle, collision area. I go with collision area. It just feels weird to call a collision box that's a circle a box, you know? Alright, that took, I want to say about 10 minutes of recording time, but that's mostly because there was a lot of like time that I cut out messing with the sprites and just assigning collision masks to a million different objects. Setting for density of background objects, I will get to that at the end of this video because that's probably going to take a little longer. Give bosses a second or so of cooldown between stages where they can neither attack nor take damage to let some of the existing bullets clear off screen. I think I talked about doing that earlier. That might have been a feature that I just decided after a recording, and I just wrote down on the backlog. But let's see. First, to give them a second or so of attack, we can self dot stage. Let's call it inter stage. Cooldown is going to be 0. In the let's see, I guess just in the shoot method. Do I want to start like inheriting methods often like I did that other time with centipedes or whatever? If self.inherited shoot is greater than 0, we can just return. No, if interstage cooldown rather is greater than 0, else we can shoot like that, and we can do something similar for damage. So you will be immune to damage for like the second or so. At which you're like in cooldown when you go between stages. So this can be on HP stage change. This would be a good use of this. We can set self.interstage cooldown to like 1 second here. And in the step event, we can inherit the step event. And we can do that. And the cooldown amount will be set like via macro. I don't think I actually have a level with the boss in it right now. Where is my test room? I think the only reason I made it level 9 is because it's at the bottom of the list and therefore slightly easier to click on than the other, like, the rooms in the middle of that list. Anyway, I need a boss of some sort. We can go with the Hornet Queen, who we've been picking on for a lot of the tests in this game so far. All right, you know what? That's a little bit close to me when you zip in like that. So let's back you up a little. Okay. When you get down to about 25% is when the mid state should appear. And you're not doing it. Oh, you... You have your own shoot method, your own HP stage change method. Okay. We can just do this again then. You do inherit the on damage method, which is good. Let's see what about... Alright, so we're not actually inheriting the shoot method. We're just doing this check. Okay. So I have to re-implement this here, and I expect I'll have to re-implement that in the Hissing Cockroach boss as well, because that probably has a similar properties. Okay. And it is considerably easier to weave between bullets here. Nope, hang on. Alright, so we saw in the console you changed your HP state. And we are now shooting in a spiral. I don't know why I didn't see that the first time. That would have been a good tip-off that something was happening and I didn't have to go and stop the game and print out something in the console down there. But Like, why is this still going off? Is it just because 1 second is not very long in the grand scheme of things? If I were to make this like 5 seconds... Wrong thing. If I were to make this like 5 seconds, would it be more noticeable? Is there actually a delay there and I'm just not noticing it because it's over too quickly? Like, and there's still bullets on screen? That very well could be, honestly. Alright. Yeah, okay, so you're definitely taking a pause there. You're still taking damage, which isn't what I want. But there's definitely a pause there. Let me get rid of this show debug message. I misspelled damage. I misspelled damage. Okay. I should take care of that. Level 9. Okay. I feel like you have too much HP for just like a test level, and you're indeed ignoring damage for 5 seconds until you start shooting again. You have too much HP just for like test levels because I do get impatient while I'm waiting for you. But also, like, I feel like you don't have enough HP for, like, nearly enough HP for the final level, so that's annoying. Anyway, the next thing I want to do is, when it comes to drawing boss UI, is draw just, like, lines. And this is going to be, again, prettier when something more approximating final art is in the game. Something that isn't just a draw health bar. But if I were to draw line color from, let's say, var x bar, I'll call it like xf1, that's x fraction 1 or x something like that. That can be
bar width is going to be bar x2 minus bar x1. The first line is going to be at bar x1 plus bar w divided by 4. And then there will be 2 more lines at 2 quarters and 3 quarters. And that will show the player where the like the health stages begin and end. So this can be draw a line color from bar xf1, bar y1, bar xf1, bar y2. Color can be c underscore black. We can draw the second and third lines at
the second and third notches, and that should give us a visual indication as to where the HP state is going to change. Alright, there we go. If I made it bigger, it might be more dramatic. Let's say, let's double the size, double the width of the HP bar. Make it 512 pixels wide instead of, yeah, that's more dramatic. And we can see this way that the like the fire damage is ticking down, just aside from like sort of taking the game's word for it that it's making progress, and that things sometimes die on their own when they're on fire. Anyway, let's see. I think that is going to be it for. Oh, I did say I also had to do it for the hissing cockroach, didn't I? Where are we? Here we are. So you do indeed have your own shoot method. I'm going to give you that line. You do not have your own on HP change method yet. Maybe you will eventually. Anyway, let me go into the test room and let me put the cockroach boss in there. And that is going to let us see if we get similar behavior with the cockroach boss. All right. And no. Why is that? Well, for one, the template boss still has the cooldown hard-coded to 1 instead of 5. But Let me try that again. Let me just see if that was it. But it didn't look like he paused taking damage for any length of time. Okay, so you are pausing taking damage, I think. It just like didn't immediately. Yeah, all right. I see what's going on. So it keeps going a little bit because it's like less than or not less than or equal to or things like that. It doesn't like clamp the boss's HP at that fraction. That's okay. There's a telephone ringing. Shut up. That's very distracting. And also not important. I didn't actually hear what it was, but if it's not like my grandma's apartment building calling me about something, it can't be that important. All right. I think that's everything. For this change. Oh, also macros. I did say I would macro that because good practices. Registered trademark copyright. Macros. Duration, default effect duration, default shot velocity. Default boss stage cooldown. Can be 5 seconds. Should I comment saying what units this is? And we can implement that in the various boss-related pieces of code like that. Hornet Queen, you get a shot cooldown, and I believe the Madagascar Hissing Cockroach just inherits. Alright. There's no reason that shouldn't work, but testing this is only going to take a second, so I'm going to test it. That's the wrong level. Ooh, you guys keep following the path even when the pause menu is up. I'm going to have to make a note to fix that. Alright, everything's good. Let's see. I can... Bosses... I'm going to make a note, and again, this is going to be a bug to fix on the backlog. I don't know how difficult that's going to be. It probably won't be that difficult. I'm pretty sure I can just say, like, set the path speed to 0 when the game is in the pause menu, or something like that, but we can fix that later. I have been recording for 50 minutes. I'm hoping I can cut that down to less than a half an hour today. Let's see, we can move this one over to the done pile. Chasing enemies, e.g. NAS, converge on each other after a short period of time because they don't detect collision with each other. That's going to be either flocking behavior or like faking a flocking behavior. Bullets, a bagworm should be allowed to take damage from friendly fire so that they can set off so that they can be set off by foes behind them. Okay. Score value for each foe should be in a variable definition not defined in the create event. That's easy. That should be easy, I should say. Unless I did something stupid early on. Something like just an aphid, or just a, really the parent foe. Where's the template? You have... Do you not have a score value? You do have a point value. Was I mistaken when I did that? All right, it looks like everything already is that. Did I like give someone a variable that said like score or something, even though it's not going to be used? It doesn't look like I did. All right, I don't know what I was talking about there then. Okay, well that one's free then. Don't know what I was thinking. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't even cross that one off. I'll just straight up delete that one so that it doesn't count towards the total. That's weird. Bagworm should be allowed to take friendly fire. That should just be a matter of overriding the default, like, on damage method. I think that'll be the last one I do today. Bagworms. Where is the on damage of foe template? Oh, you know what it is? It would be in the collision event, like before the on damage is applied. And we can just... We can just override the on damage, the collision event. So we can do this, and we can just get rid of the friendliness check. The only thing you can't be set up by is your own bullets, but like, I mean, by the time the bagworm shoots, it's dead anyway. So do I have a level already set up that includes bagworms? That might just be that like one-ish line fix. Bagworm bombs. Okay, so let me get to a wave rather with something behind the bagworms. Also, for the record, I feel a lot better about the massive, just like sheets of bullets that these things set off when my collision box is this much smaller. All right. Yeah, you're definitely taking damage, and if the aphids shoot at you long enough, rather. And it doesn't help that your aim kind of sucks. Come on. Friendly fire. How much HP do you have? You have 25 HP. Okay, that might just be too many. That might just be too many HP to have them take damage in the amount of time that they have. All right, let me get there again. So if the aphids were to shoot at me, and if I were to like camp in front of this guy so that you absorb damage, I think that was 4. Yeah, okay, that's great. That works. The only thing that really matters is the like balance, having the aphids do enough damage to make that like happen. Oh, you know what? You know what? Also, I can do. I can give these guys longer before they explode on their own. Time to live is currently 20. I can make time to live like... I can double that to 40, so if you don't clear the screen in 40 seconds, then they'll just go off. Let me see if that works out any better. Alright, so... I'm just gonna like feed a little bit of damage into you anyway. I guess that's also another way to reduce your health. So we will assume that if the player's sitting right in front of you, then they that will be okay. So that's probably all right. I don't know if that's really noticeable that what's setting it off is the foes behind it. I suppose I can always like put a row of like ant guards in front of them or something like that. That would prevent the bagworm from taking damage immediately and allow them to sponge more hits from other things. But now we're really getting back into level design, which I think is going to be something I do another day. So bagworms can take friendly fire. I'm going to check this one off. I'm going to view the progress board. So we're 46%, so that was about 8% of this entire sprint since we started this video. That's not bad. Saying the level design montage is only 30 points is probably a little bit on the low side because, well, 1, it's not a montage anymore. I decided to make it a live stream, and 2, it's going to be at least 2, probably 3 entire weeks. Probably underselling the amount of work that is by a little bit. But next one of these videos / live streams is going to be later this week. I will be live streaming level design again if you want to like be around when I do that. I usually do game dev YouTube stuff at like 2 in the afternoon New York time, which I believe is currently GMT -4. And I usually go for about 2 hours, give or take a little bit. I'm going to send these incompleted cards back to the backlog for now. They will be back later on. I will be doing more like general game feel, general bug fixing, general like things that I had put off doing earlier videos. I'm planning on at least like 3 or 4 other videos in this series that are just things of that nature. Once I finish with level design, I'm probably going to start doing more like upgradable things, because now that I've started doing that, I kind of like that. And I'm kind of in the mood to do more of that. I might see if I can actually record that video today. and have that out next week ahead of doing the level design video, because I have a bit of time today to work on things such as Game Dev YouTube, and like I said, I'm in the mood for it, so I might do that. Sending those cards to the backlog totally messed with the progress board, didn't it? Anyway, my name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games, and yeah, I think I got those in the right order. If you want to contribute to the channel, I have a Patreon. Links to that can be found in all the usual places. If you want to see the code for this here bullet hell game, links to the GitHub repository can also be found in all the usual places. Look for the and before I look for the 0.27 release. That's 28. Look for the 0.27 release. This is going to be week 27. Otherwise, I hope you all found that interesting. And I will see you all, where did it go? I will see you all later. Yeah, this is how I like to end videos. Special thanks to Army Armbuster, DJ Gibbles, Edward Holt, Game Maker, KeyXE, Sindra Larson, Squarecrow, The Oz, and Zenith for supporting these videos. If you want to support the channel, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.